Well, it's good to be back out of hibernation into the 2023 social media content creation and management season. Yes, yes, yes. You have to understand social media is cyclical. And then this is the season where everything kind of starts because, people finally realize that they got to get off their butts and start working. So I wanted to give you an example of one of the best TikToks I've seen this week. And I'm going to break it down for you as to why it's really good. So let's get into it. Here it is.
We launched Netflix 25 years ago today.
So let's talk about why this is good right out of the box. So we're setting the time frame, the beginning of the story, which is a specific date, which is also written there in captions, right? So we know where we're starting.
That morning, we all gathered in my conference room where our CTO had rigged up my laptop so a bell would ring every time an order came in. At 8 o'clock a.m. on April 14th, 1998, he leaned forward, hit a few keys, and we were live. Netflix was real. And we didn't need to wait long. A few moments later, ding, our first order. And we cheered and began opening some champagne. And then ding, 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 3 more orders. And it was so exciting. And then a cluster of 4 or 5 more.
So now we're talking about the birth of Netflix. Now that's pretty good, because most everybody in the world knows who Netflix is. And if you don't know who Netflix is, well, you're probably not on the internet. So we don't really need to talk about that. Okay, so Netflix starts 25 years ago on a specific day. Let's hear the rest of the story.
And then silence. Is this thing plugged in? Well, we had crashed all of our servers in the first 10 minutes. So rather than my recollection of April 14th, 98 being toasting my success with champagne, I remember pushing a shopping cart up and down the aisles of a computer electronics store while our CTO piled in the components we'd use to limp our servers along that first day.
Then they start talking about, they launched it, but day one problem. And then they had to go somewhere to get some stuff to fix it. I'm guessing the place they had to go to was Fry's, but I could be wrong.
But we made it. We ended day one with 200 orders. 200 orders. That was more than my first month forecast. But just 3 years later, when we finally figured out the no due dates, no late fees model, we had 200,000 subscribers. And now we have more than 200 million subscribers. We're in almost every country in the world. We make our own TV shows and produce our own movies. And there's Netflix and chill. I promise, I never saw that coming. I am immensely proud of Netflix. It has succeeded beyond my wildest dreams. I'm proud of what Netflix has become. I'm so proud of what we accomplished. But I think I'm most proud of the fact that I didn't listen when everybody, and I mean everybody, told me that idea will never work.
Now, here's the thing that's really important, right? So he explains what is the driver of most successful things, which is people think you're crazy. So if that's just the bottom line. If somebody thinks you're crazy, you might be onto something. Now, you also might be crazy, but in this case, the guy wasn't. So let's go back a little bit. So there was this place called Blockbuster, and they were everywhere, and they were the biggest thing in town. But there was no streaming, there was no real internet, and so you had to mail these things back. Boy, it was a lot of work, but because they got so good at that, when they saw the opportunity to start with the internet and streaming, they already knew. They knew the magic sauce, which is anybody can be beaten. And Blockbuster was beaten by them. And they even put on a show on Netflix called Blockbuster, which is pretty funny, about the last Blockbuster alive. But you've got to see that it's the story. And he did it all in a couple minutes. This video is actually longer than his video, but the point is, be precise, be clear, and have a story. Okay,